Christian Berger, an awkward TikTok predator from Washington State whose illicit activity involving minors isn't the most well known yet. Today, we're taking a more thorough look at his life, some interviews, and police reports about him. In his earliest years, Christian had it rough. Born on April 22nd, 1999, to a mentally ill mother, Christian was on the receiving end of some serious child neglect. His mother ignored his needs to be fed and taken care of. He credits his biological brother to a judge for his survival, feeding him by bottle, claiming he would not have made it if it weren't for him. Understandably, starting off in this world like that would cause some health issues, so, according to Christian, due to these conditions of starvation, his brain began essentially eating itself, eventually causing his very late puberty and related physical appearance, claiming his mental capacity being 2 to 4 years behind everyone else. After being taken away from his abusive household at such a young age, given to the foster system, Christian ended up in a heavily Christian adoptive family with his mother, Miriam Berger. This family, I'd like you to keep in mind, has various family members in local law enforcement. Growing up in this Christian household, Christian claimed to have only gone through the motions. Beginning high school in 2014, we see here he seemed to be someone who was pretty well liked among his peers, despite his stunted growth making him visibly different, socially and mentally a few years behind everyone else. Maybe a few early signs of his unhealthy obsession with girls, forming with 75% of his posts being photos taken with girls and reposts of said photos, but other than that though, we see he had a fairly positive experience in high school, wrapping up and graduating in the class of 2018. Christian Berger has amassed over 200,000 followers. Apparently, he had nearly over 700,000 at one point. Many people find his awkward and funny videos charming. It also seems during the recording of this, Christian was seen both taking photos with and asking for Snapchats of girls as young as 13 years old at a fair that's being hosted in his area. I've made this point before, but we cannot encourage predators like Christian by making them believe they have any sort of supporters. No matter how funny it is, building them up in that manner only leads to more uninformed exposure and, in part, more victims at Christian's fingertip. Many people in his comment section err more on the side of just making fun of the fella rather than understanding the depth of his depravity. The most popular insult being calling Jit a weird or odd little fuck. You'll see hundreds of these comments, which I find hilarious, but I really need to harp on how important it is to spread some more awareness about Christian's charges and actions regarding minors. Disability or not, he is more than capable of understanding right and wrong. And giving someone like this a platform of any kind only ends in disaster and kids being harmed. We cannot encourage his behavior no matter how badly we want to laugh at his awkward content. Moving on, after Christian graduated, he'd be found in charge for communicating with a minor for immoral purposes by either the Whatcom County Sheriff's Office or Linden PD on 2 separate occasions in 2019 and 2020. This would be seemingly just the start of his degeneracies. Following 3 years of probation, it would seem, with what later comes out, that this was not nearly enough to deter Christian from his attraction to those under 18. For someone so socially awkward, you wouldn't think he'd be very controlling or pushy. But in this police report, we highlight how pushy he can be with his refusals to stop talking to underage girls. On the noted date and time, I contacted Redacted, who was called to report Christian Berger has sent her Snapchat messages. Redacted said she heard from some of her friends that she should contact the police because Christian Berger has been labeled as a sexual predator. I asked Redacted what the communication was from Christian Berger, and she said he sent her text messages via Snapchat. Redacted said Christian Berger messaged her saying her name. She told him not to message her. Redacted said he continued to message her after she asked him to stop. When I asked her what Christian Berger messaged her, she said he answered a question she asked him. Redacted said she asked Christian Berger if he was 20 years old. Redacted said she would email me a screenshot of all the text communication she had with Christian Berger. Redacted said she didn't know Christian Berger and she hadn't communicated with him before these texts. I asked Redacted if she discussed the details with her parents. She said that she had. I reviewed the screenshot Redacted sent me to find on 10/7/19. Christian Berger texted Redacted and asked him not to call her. Redacted then, on 10/24/2019, initiated a text conversation with Christian Berger where she asked him if he was 20. There was nothing of criminal nature in the communication. Based upon the above information, no further action was taken. We also have this screenshot here of Christian Berger plotting to sneak alcohol to a 16-year-old girl, along with the vodka he bought. The police report accompanying this reads as follows. On February 22nd, 2021, I was dispatched to a juvenile problem within the city limits of Linden, Washington. The reporting party deleted as per 7.9 redacted advised there was a continual problem with a Christian sneaking into her house and providing her 16-year-old granddaughter alcohol. I contacted Redacted via phone per her request. She advised me there has been an ongoing issue with Christian Berger coming to her residence where Redacted is living and providing her with alcohol. Redacted advised me Christian Berger comes late at night and speaks to her granddaughter through the basement window. Redacted advised me she had confiscated Redacted's cell phone recently and observed conversations with Christian Berger via Snapchat where they were talking to him to come to the basement window. Redacted sent me the screenshots where I observed Christian Berger, who is named My Son on Snapchat, conversing with Redacted, where Christian Berger asked if a cowboy, who is the dog, will bark if he comes near the window. Christian Berger also asked if the window was open enough for him to put the stuff in. Redacted advises Christian Berger to lay the bottle down on its side and wait till she says it's okay. Redacted also sent me a photo of Vitaly vodka that she had confiscated from Redacted's room that Christian Berger bought for her. I contacted Christian Berger at his residence. I read him his Miranda rights from my department-issued card. Christian Berger advised me he understood his rights and was willing to speak to me. Christian Berger advised me he had bought Redacted the vodka from Safeway in Linden and then brought it to her basement window on Saturday, February 20th, 2021 at approximately 22:30 hours, but he was not sure exactly the time. Christian Berger advised me he speaks with Redacted via Snapchat, which would correlate with what Redacted sent me. I asked Christian Berger if he knew how old Redacted was, and he advised me he did and told me she was 16 years of age. I asked Christian Berger why he was purchasing alcohol for Redacted, and he advised me because she asked him to. I advised Christian Berger he would be receiving a criminal citation for supplying alcohol to minors and would need to appear in court. Christian Berger advised me he understood would no longer purchase alcohol for any minors anymore. This evidence supports many claims made by various young women on the Whatcom County Predator page, with multiple claiming to have been enticed with alcohol to come over to his place. You can only imagine what he planned on doing with a few of those minor girls allegedly accepted his offer. It's just a sick thing to be doing. Already, we should have issues if you're only buying alcohol for minors, but that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to his plans. One girl coming forward claiming to have been sexualized by him quite a lot, with Christian, of course, asking her to book a hotel with him, with more graphic requests and statements following. This jit is just insufferable in the way he talks to girls. This one sent to, you guessed it, an underage girl is just so disgusting. Bro, any girl you haven't met up with should not have to hear that from you, let alone a minor. Believe it or not, this chick gets worse than this, though. Christian has also been, in the past years, questioning his own sexuality. Now, there isn't anything wrong with that at all, but it's the fact he asked a minor if they'd be with a guy questioning his sexuality. This would not be all in his arc of questioning himself. Christian would also send snaps to an underage girl claiming to have shoved various objects in a place we can't talk about here, if you're catching what I'm throwing. With this theme of exploration, you know Burger Boy needed to find someone to explore this with, so what does he do? Asks an 18-year-old girl if her 17-year-old boyfriend would be down to experiment. I'll just roll a clip for you.
Not her.
Oh, you know this young lady?
Yep.
Yeah, fuck you, Christian.
Well, hold on. Let's
Fuck
keep
you,
it
Megan.
civil. Can you talk about who you are?
Okay, so I'm dating a 17-year-old from London. I'm 18.
You are.
And
Okay.
there were screenshots of Christian going close the door. There were screenshots of Christian going around of him, I don't want to get banned, with something in his mouth.
Okay.
So I messaged him and I asked him about it, and he said that he wants to experiment with guys and asked me if my boyfriend would be down. And he's 17, and he knows that he is 17.
Okay, Christian. The orientation of that aside, do you have anything to say about that accusation?
I'm tired.
Would you like to address that or no, Christian?
That night, I was drunk.
How is that an excuse?
But you do admit to it, Christian.
Yeah, but I was just drunk that night.
Well,
so I was
So
not
you knew
thinking
he was
straight.
17 and still said it. It doesn't matter if you're fucking drunk or not. What the fuck?
So,
And
Christian,
I have
it seems like you being drunk doesn't negate like your moral responsibility to not do that with, you know, a minor, right? Or do you feel like that's okay because it's of age in your state? Do you feel like that?
I mean, it's of age of consent.
Yeah, so you feel like it's okay for you to do that?
People are saying I'm dating a minor.
On this quest of sharing this sort of info with the younger generation, it brings us to an infamous video of Berger going around eating something long and blue stuck to the wall, sent to a girl in order to impress her, and allegedly sent to some boys too. Really, if you know where to look, there's such a large amount of girls coming forward about his deviance, even now with these girls on a very recent TikTok claiming he had sent her and numerous other girls nudes.
This is gonna get complicated. If y'all want to follow up or y'all are confused, let me know. But basically, so I met this dude on Yubo and I started dating him via the internet. I never physically met him. He was in Canada. And there was like a whole group of people, including the dude's brother and Christian Berger. So I guess the brother was friends with Christian Berger, or at one point they were, and then they started beefing. So Christian Berger somehow added me through all that, and then started a conversation with me saying, how do I tell my dad I'm bisexual? And then after that, I didn't really hear from any of them anymore. Fast forward like a year and a half, I'm about to be 18. Christian Berger adds me to a group chat with a bunch of blonde women, like hair color at a lighter. And I guess he had sent a bunch of spicy pics to these women. So then they were like, you know, exposing him in chat. And the video that I have of him going, he personally sent that to me. I'm pretty sure he's not going to deny doing all these things. I just don't think he's going to remember every single individual woman he's messaged. But yeah.
With Christian obviously asking sometimes just isn't enough. And in this live stream, we see him called out for allegedly threatening to do a lot of harm to himself if this 16-year-old girl won't cuddle with him.
But also, he was saying that, like, if I didn't cuddle with him, he was gonna, like, do stuff to himself, which made me feel really uncomfortable because I was
Bullshit.
like, what?
Bergs, I actually remember
That's
this happening.
But yeah.
Christian, so you say that's not true?
It's not.
Okay.
It's just sick to see. It's so hard to get accountability out of this guy too. One minute he's learned from his mistakes. The next he admits he actually did do something he's accused of after he supposedly learned from a mistake. That whole live you can see him bouncing from fully attentive and answering questions somewhat thoughtfully. Other times he's avoiding or ignoring questions and statements and playing with the cat or complaining about a mystery echo. He just can't fully commit to blaming it all on his disability, but he can't let himself be held fully accountable either. This sort of behavior just can't be tolerated. Local law enforcement are well aware of Christian. He's had the gall to actually go to their department and request posts made about him in the predator awareness group be taken down. With so much evidence coming out from the woodwork, he's obviously still up to no good to this day. So why haven't local law enforcement done anything else? While I don't have names to share, it's well known in the community surrounding Exposing Christian for who he is, which is a PDF file, that Berger has multiple family members in local law enforcement. So it is believed the cops may be apprehensive about doing much more than what has already been done about him. While there isn't a large group of us who are totally aware of the side of Christian, there are plenty who have very strong opinions and feelings on the topic. Some of these more opinionated creators, such as Ryan, who created the Christian Burger Snark Reddit to discuss information pertaining to his illicit activities, and then there's Aiden Bouchel, who spent plenty of time documenting his behavior and reaching out to the victims, or even this Redditor who went through the trouble of spending $300 on a private investigator to put in information requests for Christian's court documents, screenshots involving his cases, an interview, and some police reports. But there's definitely a group of trolls who care more about antagonizing Christian rather than getting him the legal correction he needs and spreading awareness. While some of these I can get a little laugh at, like this fella who mailed just straight dookie to Christian's residence along with the poop note. Others end up just being straight threats against his life, which for sure isn't okay. I get wanting to get justice for all the younger kids Christian has no doubt scarred. It is in no way worth sacrificing your own freedom, because in doing so, you make Christian out to be a victim himself. Due to one threat that particularly scared fella, we ended up with some interview footage of Christian talking to the police. While not under the best circumstances, it's very interesting to hear his responses to the cops questioning if he had given a guy a reason to threaten him like that, such as talking to someone's young daughter.
I'm just gonna straight up ask you, have you been messaging some girls?
No.
Because this could help you. So like if you have, and you pissed off like a boyfriend or a dad or something, man, we might want to know, because like I said, you said that you've never had contact with this guy, right?
No.
Okay. But he seems to know you.
Yeah.
And that's concerning. So if there's been any contact that you've had with another girl that might be a little disconcerting to somebody, it might be good for you to tell us.
I did 3.5 years of probation.
You're right.
Yeah, that you can see that on my record.
Right.
But that was the only thing.
Okay. You haven't been messaging girls or sending pictures anymore?
No.
Okay.
I learned my lesson the hard way.
Okay. Okay. That's good. Then, I wonder if this Billy Smith is just referring to the past, or...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's referring to the past.
Okay.
When it comes to people like this, disabled or not, it's always important to remember to hold them accountable for their actions. Reiterating on a point made in my last video, Christian is responsible enough to drive, so he's responsible enough to know right from wrong. Talking straight to you, Christian Berger, you can't shake the truth no matter how many times you shake your mullet, block people, delete comments, or avoid the topic. You know you've messed up, you understand you've continued to make terrible decisions, you know you're in the wrong, and you need to stop. I believe his audience of supporters would benefit from being more aware of things like this, so I urge you guys to share this video or others like this one, spreading awareness on his illicit activities. But despite his charges, reaching out to minors, talking inappropriately to minors, his mother not understanding talking to minors like that is illegal, do not go out and harass Christian Berger or his family. Gathering evidence, making videos on him, and spreading awareness is one thing. He's a bad person, deserves to get more familiar with the correctional system, but don't incur charges yourself in the process of exposing him. Later, grubbers.
Boy,